have invited outstanding speaker for keynote speech. Please welcome Senior Director Rohan Patel from Policy and Business Development at Tesla. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
안녕하세요. I want to thank Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, Vice Minister Pak, the Chairman Kim, President Shin, of course, former Minister Kim, and to all the students here who have done such great work. I especially want to thank my two colleagues that are here today from Tesla. Hey Lee, who is on our communications team, and Sung-Won John, who I've yet to meet someone throughout our company, throughout the globe, as dedicated to our mission of climate change and accelerating the transition to sustainable energy as Sung-Won. So thank you, Sung-Won. This is my first time in Seoul, first time. And I can't come very often, I can tell you that. Because if I did, I would be about 350 pounds. Over the last 24 hours, Sung-Won has treated me to Cheongdo, naengmyeon, the cold noodles, wonderful, amazing, and samgyetang, the chicken soup with the ginseng. It was some of the best food we have, and my wife and I love Korean food, so this is like a dream. I've really enjoyed even just 24 hours here in Seoul. I want to say a couple of things before we get started. First, I worked as an advisor to President Obama on climate policy. This is a deadly serious issue, and I was very lucky to sit. When you see those staffers sitting behind the president, I was one of those people, and I got to see the leadership of your own Korean Secretary General, and you should feel very proud. That he chose climate change as his issue to put on the world stage in such a major way, we all owe him a debt of gratitude, and I got to see that leadership up close and personal. Why do we work on climate change, and why do I work on it? I think we've heard so many reasons. I have one daughter who's 7 years old. She has a constricted airway. So on bad air days, often we're in the hospital with her. These are the very personal reasons we all have for working on these kinds of issues, clean air issues, climate issues. President Obama, when I was working for him, went to Alaska for a trip. And in Alaska, he went to a village way up in the north. The entire village was being relocated, the entire village. He came back, and we're sitting at the White House, and he said, just imagine for a second, this entire village is being eliminated from the face of the earth. It will no longer be there. We are relocating the entire village. Imagine for a second, and that's because of climate change, rising sea levels. Imagine for a second if that same thing was true, an entire community eliminated from the face of the earth because of a terrorist attack. What would we do? How would we mobilize? What are the parts of government that we would bring together, and what is the immediacy of that action? That's what we have to bring to climate change. That's the immediacy of the action that we have to bring to climate change. So that brings me to, why am I at Tesla? Tesla's entire existence, the reason why we even have a company like Tesla is because of climate change. It's to accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. That animates every decision, literally every decision about products, about policy, about people. That mission is everything. And the reason why I say that is, why do we want to build a path to sustainability? I think I can't say it better than the Secretary General and President Shin and others. They said it much better than I ever will. but it's for the future of our children, my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old. It's for all of our children and our grandchildren. We have a moral obligation. And that's why I love working at Tesla. Here's a few tidbits about Tesla in Korea. One of the things that's so exciting is that we're really on an exponential growth path here in Korea. It's important to note, these are some of the stats here, but these will grow by a lot, even just in the next coming weeks. But it's important to note, when you visit Tesla, and I hope all of you do, I invite you all to California, to Nevada, to our home in the US. When you visit, you will see many, many Koreans. We thank you very much for training some incredible scientists, incredible engineers, incredible business people. Tesla is full of Koreans, Korean Americans and Koreans from Korea. And so we have great talent that comes from this country. But you guys here have so many unbelievable things. Great battery technology, great automotive sector, and a great dedication to climate change policy that needs to be furthered. And I'm so glad to see that, and we're very supportive of that. Here's just a set, and I want to, because sometimes people ask me, what about, how do you get around? How do you plug in? So everywhere we have been, for example, in 2009, there were literally 0 electric vehicles in the United States. We built out, with private capital, supercharger networks all over the country, and now all over the world, all over Europe, all over China, and now in Korea, and this will grow exponentially over the coming years. I love our customers. They're passionate. They love their vehicles. They love sustainability. And they love to show things online and on Twitter and on social media. Here's a set of Model 3s that they arranged in the formation of Tesla. And I think this is indicative of something that's very important. We heard about Bangladesh and the most vulnerable people in our society that are impacted by climate change. This is deadly. On the flip side, it is incredibly important, whether it's with products or anything else, that we have fun. We have to have fun. We have to do these with a smile on our face. And we have to make these products so much fun that people want to buy them and want to buy these kinds of sustainable products and participate in a sustainable economy. Because that in and of itself is fun. So I love our customers because of that. They have such a wonderful time. This is a slide we show in every slide deck that we participate in, because it indicates the level and gravity of our problem. Just yesterday, I read in Australia, and I think I'm getting this degree right, 42 degrees Celsius average in the entire continent of Australia, average over a day. Think about that. That's crazy. And here's what our ecosystem looks like. We have solar generation, both the solar glass and the roof tiles. That generation can be stored, energy storage. We have large utility scale storage, hundreds of megawatts of storage capacity at wind plants, at solar plants. This kind of energy storage, as I was talking to this table about, this kind of energy storage also can enable great resilience efforts. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has emphasized how important resilience is to all of our communities. This energy storage, for example, when there was a hurricane Hurricane Maria that hit Puerto Rico, we sent whole teams of people throughout the island to wastewater treatment facilities, to schools, to hospitals, to a children's hospital, to put storage and solar at those sites so that they could start running again, so they could get back on their feet, so that they could treat the patients that were there, so that they could have running water. These types of things are incredibly important, and we all must emphasize these things. And then, of course, the thing that people know us for are cars. And these cars, the electric motor is the most efficient. This electric powertrain is the most efficient. If you think about an ICE engine vehicle, ICE engine being internal combustion engine vehicle, it's about 30% efficient. A powertrain, electric drive powertrain, battery electric drive powertrain, is over 90% efficient. So, and what's fun about this is it gets better. It gets better over time. All of the great work that's happening in Korea that I just heard the chairman talking about, as you drive your vehicle, it becomes cleaner because the grid is getting cleaner. So when you're charging with cleaner and cleaner and cleaner and more sustainable electricity. And this is kind of the future ecosystem. Now, I wanted to talk about just one policy because I'm a bit of a, as we say in the United States, I'm a bit of a nerd. I like to talk about policies, I like to get in the weeds, I like to do math. And one thing that we have to think about is how do we accelerate through policy, of course through products, how do we accelerate this transition to an electric economy, to an electrified system of transportation? And one thing that some countries and states, California, Quebec, others, throughout the northeast part of the United States, and we're looking at a number of countries, including in Korea. Korea has done some fantastic work, is looking at ZEV mandates, zero emission vehicle mandates. And why is this important? Zero emission vehicle mandates, in fact, Mr. Lyons, who's going to be speaking later, lives in the state of Colorado. They're the latest state to promulgate the ZEV mandate. Why is it important? Because the ZEV mandate sets a standard. And so every single automaker has to start producing those ZEV vehicles. If they don't, then they either can pay a penalty, or those that are producing zero-emission vehicle, clean vehicles, can trade credits with them. So this is very important, and it can set the stage for real acceleration of these policies. And here's the equation. Sang-Won actually said this is what matters. What makes us a little bit different is that we play in all three of these. On the infrastructure side, if you can't charge a vehicle, why would you buy one? So we have to build out this infrastructure. Korea has done fantastic work in this regard. We will add to that effort with our supercharger capacity. And the technology is only getting better and better and better. 15 minutes at our supercharger in Korea gives you about 150 kilometers. That's going to grow exponentially as we add more power capacity to those superchargers in version 3. Demand side measures and supply side measures. So demand side, we have to have the ability to have these kinds of zero emission vehicle mandates, GHG measures, and also on the supply supply side, same thing. So this is a total ecosystem that we have to have in order to move this forward. Policy direction, great technology, and more customer choice. So I want to say something that is always been true really since I've worked on climate policy for now 15 years. We really are the first generation to understand just how bad the problem is, and we are the last generation that can do something about this problem. And if Tesla can add even a little bit of acceleration to this and force some other competitors, other automakers, to do more, we will have fulfilled our mission. In fact, we were just talking yesterday in the office at Tesla. When another automaker comes out with an electric vehicle, far from being upset, we're very excited. That's fulfilling our mission. That means that more and more and more electric vehicles are there, and better sustainability is there, and we're very encouraging of that. We want to see more of that. So I'm very, very pleased to be here. I want to, with that, congratulate everybody for being a part of this conference, for the academics that are here, for the students that are here, for the politicians and the regulatory entities that are here. Kudos. Korea is doing great work and will only do more and more. You've laid the groundwork. But if it was not 10:30 in the morning, maybe I would raise a toast because I found out on Wednesday night, and I'm going back to California and telling all of my friends and all of my colleagues that from now on, when we do toasts at Tesla in our factory, when something good happens, we will be toasting with Terra beer and Chan Misla soju together with the drink Tesla. So cheers to everybody, and thank you very much. And
Thank you.
I told Sangwan I'd be happy to take questions if there are a few questions, but also happy to move on.
Okay. So fellow audiences, I would like to open up the floor for just 2 questions. As an MC, I will take 2 questions only. First of all, yes, please raise your hand. Okay, Professor Cho Dae-gun. He's gonna deliver questions in Korean, so please take your receiver and turn to channel 5, 6. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you for the speech, Rohan, and welcome to your first visit to South Korea. I'm assistant professor at KAIST Business School, majoring in information systems, and my question is about self-driving car that may also affect our life and sustainability. So, along with the prevalence of electricity car, the development of autonomous vehicle or self-driving technology is changing the landscape of car business. So as far as I know, car makers and big tech companies such as Uber and Lyft, they expect that the full-scale level 5 self-driving car will be available, commercialized in late 2020 or no later than 2021. But more recently, it appears that the emergence of level 5 self-driving car may be delayed for several reasons and hurdles from the perspectives of technology and law and policy. So I believe that Tesla is one of the leading players in the market. So I'm wondering how you look at the development of self-driving car and when you expect that highest level 5 will be available in the market.
Great question. This is a very, very exciting realm of business, innovation, technology. I give you a quick story. We as a family bought a Model 3, and my wife was very upset with me. Why are you spending money on a car? You take the bus anyways to work. What are you doing? I said, but you know, I work at Tesla. I probably should buy a Tesla. She now, after being upset with me, she's a pulmonologist and a researcher on lung disease. And she drives our Tesla up to Johns Hopkins, 45 minutes north, and 40 out of her 45 minutes are on autopilot. And she loves it. It's not that she's not paying attention to the road, she is, but it eliminates all of those decisions. Lane changing, where the vehicle is in front of you. It eliminates all of those decisions and puts your mind at ease a little bit. So that's just an example of where we are today. In terms of your question, the hardware we have right now, 8 cameras, we have radar, ultrasonic, is already and the chip, we make our own chip, our own computer chip. It already enables self-driving. So what really is the determining factor here in terms of speed, and my answer is not going to be totally satisfactory to you, is training the neural network. And one of the gentlemen on our team, Andre Karpati, is leading that effort. We are spending lots of time and effort and investment in training that neural network. And where we think we have a little bit of an advantage is that our cars right now are helping to give us that training. We have hundreds of millions of miles on autopilot and navigate on autopilot to train our neural networks about what is better and how to make it better. And one thing I just want to make sure everybody understands about this, because it's important. We know that if you are driving with autopilot, you are safer than if you are not driving with autopilot. We know that. And it actually stands to reason. When you think about you're driving on the highway and you need to change lanes, what are you doing? You look up that mirror, look back. Here, you're not looking back, you're not doing anything. Maybe the car is looking back for you. There's cameras surrounding it. There's radar and ultrasonic surrounding you. So this is a very important point, that even the driver assistance features that currently exist today are life-changing. We give you an example. Our neural net Sorry, I get very excited about this because I'm a climate policy geek, but now I've started to learn about this and it's very important. We trained our neural net to recognize bicycles. It didn't exist, I forget exactly when this happened, but about 6 months ago. In that 6 months, we know we have prevented 9,000 accidents of Teslas that otherwise would have hit bicycles. Now, what would have happened? We don't know. Would it have been a very bad accident? Would it have been just a mild scrape? We don't know that. 9,000 times there were automatic emergency brakes that were pressed as a result of our training our neural network on bikes. This is the kind of life-saving technology that's important. Now, do we need regulators who understand the safety components of this? Yes. So policy and government will be extremely valuable and necessary for us to work with so that we get this right. But it's a great question, and I'm glad that you're working on it.
Okay, maybe next question. Yes, please raise your hand. Yes. Team leader Kwon Sung-yeon from Coalition for Our Common Future.
Mr. Patel, thank you for your speech. This is Melissa from Coalition for Our Common Future. I think we all agree that our climate change agenda is that goes beyond gender, ethnicity, or the political perspectives. And knowing your background and expertise in climate change and energy agenda, I would like to hear your opinion or perspective, the possibility of the Trump administration's overturning its decision to pull out of the Paris Agreement and make a more positive change in America's climate change policies.
Okay, Sung-Wan knows there's press in the room, I think, so I probably should save my words, and I don't see that as very possible. But what I do take great solace in, and we work very closely with lots of cities and states and other companies, and NGOs especially. NGOs and environmental groups play such a huge role. And so what Secretary General Ban Ki-moon spoke about, the We Are Still In coalition, we are part of that. And we will do everything we can to promote those values of resilience, of mitigation, and of sustainability in everything that we do in the United States as a corporate citizen. That's all we can do. But it was a great question, and I hope that we keep moving forward in the United States with good technology, with good policies, and with the help of our NGOs, and especially our young people. Because the most vulnerable people in our society, just like in every other society, are most impacted by climate change.
Okay, for the last, I'll take just one question. The gentleman in the head table, yes.
Hello, Ian De Cruz, Global Director for P4G. We look at new business and finance models, and one of those are electric buses in Latin America. So in terms of that path to accelerating to sustainability, is that an area which Tesla is looking at, pivoting from electric cars to electric buses?
Great question. There are some great electric bus companies already that are pushing the envelope. Never say never, certainly possible, but what we look for is accelerating an entire industry or entire sector where it's not currently happening. So pickup trucks, for example. There are no pickup trucks. We just released our Cybertruck. There are no significant electrified semi-trucks, long-haul trucks. So we're in the process of beginning production there. So we look for sectors where there's not already good technology, good players that are advancing things. In the bus sector there is, but you never say never. Maybe that's something that we could do in the future as well. Great question.
Okay, thank you very much for the speech, Director Patel.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. With this, we end the opening ceremony of the 6th Annual Seoul Climate Energy Conference 2019. Thank you very much for your participation.